Hi everyone, and welcome to Dynamite or Mike. I'm Mike Lane, Tony Schiavone, and Montel Vertadius Porter here. And today on Rampage or Ramfru, we are going to have Santa Claus here, Mike Lane says. That's right, Tony Schiavone says, that time of year where Holy Fellow Nicholas or Father Yule or Heavenly Gift Giver, whatever you want to call him, comes around, you know. We know it's really the 11th month, and we know Thanksgiving is the holiday that's coming up, but Yule tends to get started around that time and drags itself in, starts that time. Tony Schiavone said, "Oh, great," Montel Vertadius Porter says. "We got Santa Claus here, and it's the one from the Dollar Tree," Montel Vertadius Porter says. Mike and Tony, I don't know how much envelope we're going to get from him. I don't know if I'm going to be getting anything from this year. I mean, yes, I did get one gift that God and Jesus gave to me, and that was my forever life through God and through Jesus. So I don't think Holy Fellow Nicholas ever gave anything to me beyond that," Montel Vertadius Porter says. "So I'm going to take it," Mike Lane says, "that you're not a big follower of Holy Fellow Nicholas or Father Yule." Mike Lane says, "I would have to say he's not," Tony Schiavone said. "He is not a big follower of that." "Ya ho ho ho. Happy Yule." Now I know it's not Yule yet. I know that it's not really Yule yet, you know, folks. And I know it's not really truly Yule yet. You know, we still have some time before Yule happens, you know. But anyway, I know that this is the 11th month, and Thanksgiving, or at least the 4-1 Reichs offshoot of Thanksgiving, is the big thing coming around. But it is the time of year we're getting near to Yule, and I'm here to let all you Christendom folks know that Yule is not about me. It never was about me. It was about the birth of Jesus, Son of God, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the Earl of Earls, the Kaiser of Kaisers. God so loved the world so much. God loved and forgave and loved the world so much, He gave us His only Son as a gift. His Son was Jesus, the most flawless and holy, you know, and man there ever was. And that gift that God gave to us through Jesus was forever life and heaven. You see, God is love, God is forgiving, God is love, God is holy, God is rightfulness, but He's also forgiving. And God forgave all of us for our sins. But the only way that we could ever yield for those sins that we ever made was to have Jesus take on those sins, take on the handicap, take on the weakening, which that was. But through that, through God and through Jesus and through yielding of his blood and through His death, God and Jesus gave us a gift. The gift of having our afterlife in heaven through God and through Jesus. So I give out gifts in the same way that God gave Jesus to us as a gift. The same way those wise men and wise women gave gifts to Jesus when He was born. So that's what I do. Now I know some folks out there might not be too happy with. I want to let everybody know, you know, I want to let everyone know that I want to let everyone know that, you know, that there are other holidays out there, like the Gathering of Lights for the Jewish folk, the gathering of followership for some of the black folk out there. And who knows what other holidays we have. And I just want to wish everyone a happy Yule, a happy gathering of lights, a happy gathering of followership. Oh yeah, Santa Claus. You happen to be what is wrong with the Christendom holiday of Yule. You know, we Jewish folks, we don't believe in some man who lives in Alaska, Alaska's land. Other words, the 49 Reich of the 41 Reichs, who comes around on one night of the year, gives off gifts, gets in and out of houses, and then has a whole list of good and bad deeds of folks, gives them gifts for being good and handicaps them for being bad. We Jewish folk, we have 8 days and nights of gifts. I do know that, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. I do know about the Jewish holiday called Hanukkah, which is a Hebrewish borrowed word. The English word is gathering of lights. How you folks look the 8 nights that you had enough light to keep a light burning in your old worship house a long time ago. And I understand that you folks don't believe in me. But I understand you do believe in God. When it comes to Jesus, that's where some of you Jewish folks don't really know if you should or should not believe. Well, let me tell you something. Jesus was a Jew himself. And when God loved all mankind and all womankind, that's everyone. When Jesus died on the round, he died on the round for me, for those who believed in him. He also died for the folks who did not believe in him and wanted nothing to do with him, and those who did not know. So, Maxwell, your sins were taken down, they were cleaned away, and you have your afterlife in heaven through God, through Jesus. If you choose to believe that or not believe in that, that is your own business. You know what I choose to believe in? Gathering of Lights, Harry. I like him. But let me tell you what I'm going to do. I feel like I want to beat up Holy Fellow Nicholas. Because last year, I was scathed for hitting folks with the Yule tree. So this year, how about I go above one thing and do what every wrestling business has done since the beginning of time? Beat up on Holy Fellow Nicholas. Hold it right there, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Yeah, I'm the Miz, and you might think that I wouldn't stand up for Holy Fellow Nicholas, but I am. I'm sick of folks that want to either guilt, shame, or slight something that's good. You want to beat up on Holy Fellow Nicholas? Why? Why do you want to do that for? Yeah, I know what you did last year. Hit someone with the Yule tree more than once when Astronomer told you not to, but you did anyway. I'm not going to make it a whole... It has nothing to do with me being in Christendom and you being a Jew. It has nothing to do with worship. It has to all do with your behaviors and your deeds. So you're going to beat up on Santa Claus. Truly? What, to get yourself over? What, you, the former 2-time TWF heavyweight fighter, the former TWF tag team fighter with me, and you the AEW heavyweight fighter? Well, let me tell you something. You're nothing outstanding. You're not going to bully Holy Fellow Nicholas at all. If you want to wrestle or fight someone, you're going to wrestle me. Alrighty then. I'll wrestle you, Miz. And I'm more greater than you, Miz. I did shit in the CZW, MLW, NWA, and AEW, and I done shit before you did, The Miz says. You think you're so great, you're nothing more than a wannabe Miz. Santa, don't worry, I have this under handle. Alright, Miz, I'll let you do it. You did help me out one year, back in 2012, you did help me out back in 23rd between YL many years ago and WWE on main show. So let's bring in the Fight Lord. Alright, Mike Lane says we're going to have The Miz fight Maxwell Jacob Friedman, who, believes that he always, he is a bully and a heel and a creep, sadly. And it really has nothing to do with that. The Miz going after Maxwell Jacob Friedman, who the last time we saw him on this show, Mike Lane said he was getting beat up by The Undertaker. Yes, he was, Tony Schiavone said. Maxwell Jacob Friedman was so great they had to buy him 2 times back in the end of 2021 YL. Or was it? No, it was 2222 YL. So great they had to buy him 2 times. Tony Schiavone says. And he was the third AEW Jack Stall to come to the Toy Wrestling Gathering. Yeah, he is, Montel Vertadius Porter says, but I like him. I like his behavior. And he's held the AEW heavyweight winnings longer than CM Punk, longer than Kenny Omega or Chris Jericho, longer than Dean Ambrose, or longer than Adam Page. Well, he's catching up to all those folks. Montel Vertadius Porter says. I don't like him, his whole war against you, or whatever it is. Oh! And The Miz just missed right now. And Maxwell Jacob Friedman making fun of The Miz with the Miz kicks, which The Miz took from Daniel Bryan. Oh! Mike Lane says. And now Maxwell Jacob Friedman is going to give The Miz the skull crashing and the skull smashing ending. Oh! And how shameful would that be to lose your own match to your own hold, Mike Lane says. Well, I can't tell you that, Tony Schiavone said, but that would be like The Rock losing to the Rock Bottom or the Stone Bottom, or Steve Austin losing to his Stunner, or Shawn Michaels losing to the Overkick, or Bret Hart losing to the Sharpshooter, or worse, it would be Hulk Hogan losing to the Leg Drop, or it would be like John Cena losing to the FU. 1, 2, and a kick out, Tony Schiavone says. Yeah, Mike Lane says. Then now Maxwell Jacob Friedman wants to put an end to The Miz here, and just gave him his own offshoot of the side stomp, Mike Lane says. Well, let me tell you something right now, Montel Vertadius Porter says. The Miz, he's going to learn to keep his nose out of his business. He might be a show player, shifted wrestler, but at the end of the day, he's not going to do very well. Well, it seems that The Miz is in a bind right now. Maxwell Jacob Friedman got out of the way. The Miz hit him with the skull smashing ending here. The Miz is going to beat Maxwell Jacob Friedman. 1, 2. Going to do that. 1, 2, 3. Ding, ding, ding. Here is your winner, The Miz. And The Miz has beat Maxwell Jacob Friedman here today on Dynamite or Might. Now, some folks out there might get irked at us and say, oh, well, you buried him. You made him lose because he's an AEW Jax doll. Well, that's not true. The match could have gone either way, Montel. Anyway, Mike Lane said. Now we're seeking to get that scarf or whatever that he wears around himself. He belongs to that way of Judaism, where either they wear the hats or they wear their scarves or whatever they do to show their worship. Mike Lane says it would be like Christendom folks wearing the round. Mike Lane says, well, that's right, Tony Schiavone says. We did see The Miz beat Maxwell Jacob Friedman here today on Dynamite or Might. And we do know that, at least now we know The Miz and Maxwell Jacob Friedman are in a bye now. Need be hopefully not a one-off. Well, I can tell you one thing right now, Mike and Tony. It ain't a one-off, Montel Vertadius Porter says. It's a full-time thing. And at the end of the day, Maxwell Jacob Friedman is going to teach The Miz to mind his own business. Well, alright. Take it away. We got Bob Walk. Alright, Mike Lane, Tony Schiavone. I'm going to be talking with The Miz here today on Dynamite or Might. Alright, Miz, what made you want to stand up for Santa Claus? Well, it wasn't only Santa Claus I was standing up for. I was standing up because I was sick and tired of Maxwell Jacob Friedman behaving like me. You know, a lot of folks like to shame me and guilt me over the years, and I felt, well, I can shift the way I am. You know, Maxwell Jacob Friedman likes to behave as if he is so greater than me, but he's not. He's a bully. And yes, I am guilty of being a bully myself. I wasn't going to watch him beat up on holy fellow Nicholas, Father Yule. Truly? That's what he does to get himself over? I've done a lot more shit to get myself over, but beating up on Father Yule was never one of them. So, does that mean, Miz, you and Maxwell Jacob Friedman are going to have a long time fight? Only if he makes it so. If he wants me to drop him again like a bad way, well, all he needs to do is get in my lair and I'll knock him out. Because I, The Miz, and I, awesome. Well, that's my talk with The Miz. Back to you, Mike Lane and Tony Schiavone. Well, thank you, Bob Walk, for talking with The Miz here today on Dynamite or Might. And that's all the time we got here for Dynamite or Might. I, Mike Lane, Tony Schiavone, Montel Vertadius Porter, we hope you like Dynamite or Might, and we'll see you tomorrow for Impact on XSTV or Smash and Inside FS.